Welcome to the Mind Forge, where we're crafting brilliance, one thought at a time. Let's dive in. What would you do if your choices spiraled beyond your control? This is the story of a king blinded by love for his daughter, yet swayed by deceit. An advisor whose ambition knows no bounds. A prince fueled by integrity. And a princess thrust into a storm of betrayal. As the king tries to secure his daughter's future, unknowingly setting fate into motion, we ask, is destiny a cruel master or an ally in disguise? Prepare for a journey of greed, resilience, and life-altering choices. The advisor, cloaked in loyalty but dominated by greed, weaves a web of manipulation. He convinces the king to subject the princess to the trial of destiny, a ritual he claims will protect her future. Yet, this trial is a sham, a sinister scheme with one cruel demand. The princess is to be sealed inside a treasure chest and cast down the river's relentless current. The king, torn between duty and doubt, consents, clinging to the advisor's reassurances. As the chest vanishes into the waters, it feels like all hope is lost. Or is it? The chest, now a vessel of unpredictable destiny, carries not only a betrayed princess, but also the potential to reshape a kingdom's future. As its journey begins, the threads of power and greed tighten, leaving us to wonder, will fortune or folly determine this tale's end? What guides the chest's silent voyage, chaos or destiny? The river delivers it to a neighboring kingdom, whose skies stretch endlessly over meadows of promise. Here lives a young prince, both humble and strong-hearted, who stumbles upon the mysterious chest while riding along the riverbank. Expecting treasures within, he opens it, only to meet the piercing gaze of the princess, who emerges, defiant, betrayed, but unbroken. She recounts her tale, her voice trembling with determination. The prince is captivated, not by beauty, but by her courage, her will to fight the injustice forced upon her. He vows to protect this stranger, not from obligation, but because her story ignites a fire within his own conscience. Meanwhile, back at her kingdom, tensions escalate. The king's growing guilt clouds his judgment as whispers of unease ripple through the court. The advisor, ever opportunistic, concocts plans to locate the chest, convinced its contents hold unimaginable riches. But somewhere along the river's winding course, a bond has been forged. One between values, not convenience. The princess and the prince, connected by chance yet bound by destiny, find themselves poised to challenge the greed and schemes that set their journey ablaze. The advisor, emboldened by greed, tracks down the chest in enemy territory, weaving lies to insinuate himself into the prince's domain. Under the cover of darkness, he slips into the palace, fueled by the certainty of riches. Opening the chest, however, he encounters not treasure but an enchanted bear, an ancient guardian embodying retribution. The bear's ferocious roar sends the advisor fleeing into the palace's outer forest, symbolic of his spiraling descent. Lost in the shadows, clutching at his hubris, the forest swallows him whole, a fitting end for one enslaved by avarice. Meanwhile, the prince and princess rally together. With the chest's protective magic unveiled, their purpose becomes clearer, to turn turmoil into justice. News of the princess's survival reaches her homeland, rekindling hope lost among her people. The king, haunted by regret, begins unearthing the advisor's falsehoods. For the first time, glimpses the depth of his betrayal. As guilt transforms into action, he vows to repair the devastation he unwittingly caused. United by compassion and shared purpose, the prince and princess quietly spark a movement across kingdoms. Their combined resilience and moral integrity inspire others to align, not for power, but for reform. From the ashes of deceit, an unbreakable partnership begins to rise. What started as survival evolves into a purpose larger than either the prince or princess imagined. The princess, once silenced, rises as the heart of a growing revolution. No longer a passive victim, she champions justice. The prince stands unwavering by her side, his tactical skill complementing her emotional charge. Together, they confront corruption's grip on their lands, not with swords, but with reform, humility, and relentless hope. Their efforts to rehabilitate their fractured societies gain traction among the dismissed and defiant alike. Loyalties shift as villages celebrate young leaders who promise fairness and freedom. Reformers, laborers, and idealists join their mission, building unstoppable momentum to challenge deep-rooted inequities. As their network strengthens, so does opposition. Corrupt officials launch covert schemes, determined to maintain their control. Yet, for each challenge, the resilience of the prince and princess burns stronger. Their victory lies not in instant triumphs, but in their consistency, a torch they never let extinguish. Along their journey, one undeniable truth emerges. It is not power, privilege, or proximity to wealth that defines leadership. It is courage, the kind that plants seeds for those who cannot yet fight for themselves. As their movement expands beyond borders, the princess transforms into a symbol of hope, her survival inspiring others to defy fate's cruelty in pursuit of change. Together, with unyielding determination, the prince and princess illustrate that the same forces fueling greed can dissolve in the presence of compassion and integrity. In the years that follow, the story of the prince and princess transforms into legend. As rulers, they redefine what it means to lead, not through absolute power, but by cultivating shared purpose. Their kingdoms, once fractured by greed and corruption, unite under principles of fairness and collaboration. The princess, informed by her trial in the chest, becomes a relentless advocate for the powerless. Education reform provides opportunities to all, while judicial overhauls ensure fairness replaces tyranny. The prince's wisdom bridges policy with practice, allowing their shared vision to flourish. Together, they topple institutions of oppression, replacing them with systems that sustain dignity, worth, and opportunity for everyone. Their legacy spreads beyond their borders. Neighboring realms emulate their reforms, choosing cooperation over coercion. Families tell their children the tale of the treasure chest, not as a relic of greed's consequences, but as inspiration for how moral clarity creates societal transformation. Songs, poems, and even learned philosophies root themselves in their story. Through trials and tribulations, their enduring belief in goodness catalyzes a golden age, a cultural turning point that rejects power for power's sake. When their leadership ceases, they leave unshakable foundations, their story living on as a blueprint for a more just world. Forever entwined in history, the princess and prince become timeless, proof that even the bleakest moments can inspire revolutions rooted not in warfare, but in the persistence of hope. Thank you for joining us today on The Mind Forge, crafting brilliance, one thought at a time. Don't forget to subscribe